Let's face it, understanding legal procedures is an absolutely essential advantage before you ever step foot inside a courtroom or hit publish on a story. Whether you're a concerned citizen, a practicing attorney, or an investigative journalist, having accurate information is literally your best defense. But, court records? They can feel like they're locked behind this giant, impenetrable maze of legalese and bureaucracy. Well, today, we're going to break that maze down entirely.
Welcome to This Explainer. Think of the Wyandotte County court system like a massive public library. We're going to show you exactly where to find the records you need, providing a step-by-step guide to uncovering the real, practical value hidden in these public archives. We're taking the guesswork totally out of the equation.
Here's our roadmap. We'll quickly cover the local court framework, how to navigate both online and in-person records, go over the essential rules and fees, and then wrap up with some pro best practices.
Section 1. The Wyandotte Court Framework.
So, let's start building our mental map by looking at the three main floors of our legal library. In Wyandotte County, jurisdiction is split up based on authority and severity. First, you've got the 29th Judicial District Court. That's the state trial court of general jurisdiction. Below that, we have the municipal courts, which handle limited jurisdiction stuff like city tickets and local code violations. And then, on a completely separate track, you have the federal court for constitutional issues and interstate disputes.
Now, if you're looking up local felonies, divorces, or probate records like estates and guardianships, you'll be focusing your search entirely on that 29th Judicial District Court. Honestly, this is the heavy lifter of the county. It presides over the vast majority of the major state cases you might be researching.
Section 2. Navigating online court records.
Now that we know which court handles what, let's pull out our digital compass. Finding state records is actually pretty straightforward if you follow these specific steps on the Kansas eCourt portal. You're going to head over to ksearch.kscourts.gov. From there, you can search by party name or, if you have it, the specific case number. Just a heads up, if you use the case number, remember to specify the county of origin. Pass the quick capture prompt, and boom, you can view docket histories, filing dates, and sometimes even digital document images right from your screen.
But, what happens if your case just isn't there? Well, a crucial thing to remember is that the state portal doesn't hold everything. Federal cases, those require a totally different system called PACER, which stands for Public Access to Court Electronic Records. Meanwhile, municipal courts, like Kansas City, Kansas, or Bonner Springs, they use their own separate digital portals, like Next Request or local municipal payment sites for their traffic and city ordinance files. And hey, online research isn't always perfect. You gotta watch out for some common digital traps. You're definitely gonna hit capture barriers. Those are just there to stop automated data scraping. Also, keep in mind that older records might not be digitized at all. But most importantly, be super careful of information gaps. There was a massive cyber attack on the Kansas eCourt system back on October 12th, and that created huge backlogs. So recent case events might not show up online while clerks are still working to manually digitize all those paper files.
Which brings us to Section 3, accessing records in person. Because of those digital gaps we just talked about, sometimes the internet just completely fails you, and you literally have to navigate the physical courthouse terrain yourself to verify the facts. If you're heading in person, make sure you're going to the right building. The criminal, civil, and probate departments are all at the main courthouse on 710 North 7th Street. However, juvenile matters, like juvenile offenders or child in need of care cases, those are housed in a totally separate building over at the juvenile courthouse on 738 Ann Avenue.
All right, let's dive into some survival tips for your visit. First off, time your trip right. These departments completely close down from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. for lunch. When you do arrive, take advantage of the free public access computer terminals right in the lobby to search dockets. And remember, court clerks are kind of like librarians. They can absolutely help you locate a physical file, but legally they cannot explain what the legal jargon means for your specific situation. Oh, and always bring your ID, because certain specific records will definitely require it.
Section 4. Fees, Rules, and CORA.
Now, while walking into the courthouse lobby and viewing files on a public terminal is completely free, making copies? Yeah, that is certainly not. Standard paper copies are just 25 cents a page. I know, that sounds super cheap, but if you're pulling a massive, multi-volume civil litigation file, those quarters are going to turn into big dollars really, really fast. And the costs jump up even faster for special administrative requests. Need a document officially certified with a raised seal? That'll be $10. If a clerk has to physically go pull an archived file from an off-site location, you're paying $30 per case. And if you need them to do complex research on your behalf, you are literally going to be billed for their time. Anywhere from $20 an hour for clerical work, all the way up to $60 an hour for professional legal searches.
So all of this access is governed by the Kansas Open Records Act, commonly known as KORA. Under KORA, the government has 3 business days to respond to your written records requests. But here is an absolutely critical rule. You have to certify that you are not using the data, specifically lists of names and addresses, for commercial marketing. If you do, that can result in a $500 civil penalty per violation. Definitely not worth it.
Section 5. Pro Tips and Best Practices.
Let's talk about efficient analysis and avoiding a massive trap for both beginners and seasoned researchers, confusing Kansas City, Kansas records with Kansas City, Missouri records. If an offense happened just across the state line in Missouri, you're dealing with a completely different judicial system governed by the Missouri Sunshine Law. You'd need to search Missouri CaseNet, not the Kansas portals. Always verify your geography first.
Furthermore, you really have to understand the limitations of the system itself. Like we mentioned, clerks are incredibly helpful, but they are not your personal research assistants. Court staff will not prepare a custom report for you, and they won't create a record if it doesn't already exist. This means it's totally on you to verify information accuracy, cross-reference the digital docket with the physical file, and, if you're drowning in complex legal jargon, consult supplemental resources like a legal library or a qualified legal professional.
Section 6. Summary and legal disclaimer.
Okay, if you take absolutely nothing else away from this explainer, keep these core steps in mind. First, identify the correct court level. Then, start your search online at casesearch.kscourts.gov. Make sure you know whether you need the main courthouse or the juvenile courthouse before you ever get in your car. Bring some money for copies and research fees. And whatever you do, please don't confuse Kansas City, Kansas with Kansas City, Missouri.
Now, before we wrap up, a quick but important reminder. This explainer is strictly for informational purposes. It should absolutely not be considered legal advice. Court rules and fees can and do change, and interpreting case law is a highly specialized skill. You should always consult a qualified legal professional for any specific legal concerns or if you need personalized guidance for your unique situation.
So, with this map and compass in hand, the maze isn't quite so intimidating anymore, is it? You now have a structured framework to access the exact information you need exactly when you need it. So, what will you discover in the public records of Wyandotte County?